Let's continue where we left off with the question, which is more powerful, words or money? The average person won't see the significance of words because they are reduced to use to tear them down more so than build them up. If they can see how words is how words if it's possible to be misused, but basically you have to hear the misusage of words for you to take that spirit to misuse it yourself. Within that, you will never see the significance of words. But if you were able to flip that and able to see, in other words, put words to work, that it benefits you towards good, the direction of purity, innocence, and so forth. How words can keep you from hurt, harm, and danger, versus words trying to use words to prevent you from hurt, harm, and danger. Death and life is in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit of thereof. They are realities. Words are creations. And when they are misused, they're used as like a creation of destruction versus a creation of creativity that is superior than what you can see. In other words, the words that we create, or the words that come from us, are a spirit, they are life, and they form a reality so that the eyes can see. This fulfills the scripture, write it down that men may, write down the vision so men that see it may run with it. In other words, the vision is inside of us, and it will stay there until we can actually say it. And sometimes, in most cases, saying it is actually speaking it or writing it down. And writing it down is another form of way to actually show the picture of what you're actually speaking. In other words, we are so behind in the natural. We try to do many ways to build ourselves to go past what we see. But if the highest realm or the highest level of sight is power, right? Now, what level of power are we talking about? Are we talking about power in the spirit realm, power in the natural realm, power in the financial realm, power in the psychological realm? Where are we demonstrating our power from, or where we are placing power or ranking power? As long as the person don't realize that they are not a body, they live in a body. That body does not move without the control panel authorizing it or giving authorization for it to move. So until you get up on the inside, your body won't move. Your body will stay kaput. In other words, it will be asleep. So the soul consists of the mind, the will, the emotion, the intellect, and the imagination. But as long as the soul is crippled by a parasite from a unclean spirit that grants delusion, and actually it stifles the soul from growing, which is the intent of it, but it has to be summoned, and once it's summoned, it comes inside by thought, and that thought grows to a picture, and that picture becomes that individual or that soul. Whatever a person sees, so shall they be. So once again, which is more significant, words or money? The average person may say money because they can see what they can purchase with it. But that sight is based upon what they was told what purchasing is. If I give you $1 billion, you can buy 1 billion things. Or you can put yourself in position to allow that $1 billion to create more avenues where you can create more money, to create more ways to spend over $1 billion. It's a hamster in the wheel, or on a cycle wheel. It's going around and around and around. It doesn't grant you anywhere. And this is why the person will honestly think that being in the natural is the life. Being in the natural, you're serving death, right? In other words, you're going to serve things that's going to put you in a position to be killed, steal, and destroyed. That's the natural order. It's what we call the body. So those who are lovers of the body, they can help but to see their demise coming. And they try to do their very best to forbid it by creating ways to outrun something that was designed or inevitable to happen. They try to design things to prevent something from happening, but nonetheless fail. The scripture says, "Those that lose their life for my sake shall gain it, but those shall save their life shall lose it." So which life is he speaking of? He's speaking about two forms, naturally and spiritually. Those that gain their life, they come into him spiritually. Because why? Because God is spirit. He is he is truth. Not there's a percentage to him. He is true. He's the creator of it. Because there is no lie. And for there to be a lie, there has to be some fear there. Right? So now we're understanding Satan. Satan is denied the truth, or he's far removed from the truth, because he wanted to be above God. So that separated him from truth. He's no longer in a cycle, so I guess it was the only measure that he could give out to Adam and Eve in the garden was that self-same tale that he saw himself as. He saw himself as above God. God made him beautiful. And his beauty wasn't just for his sake, it was for everything that God created. So when Lucifer spoke, or the spirit of him gave presence, it blessed everyone around him. But one thing about it, he became full of himself. And what I mean by that, he saw how beautiful that he was. He saw what God showed him. And that wasn't meant for him to see. That's like us going in the mirror and us telling ourselves that we look good. That wasn't the intent of looking in the mirror, to see your reflection. Your reflection, what you see, is a lie, because you're only seeing one part of you, which is the natural. You're not seeing the spiritual aspect of you. What makes you look good is when you can shine to the rest of the world, and everybody can benefit from that shining. All right. All right. Versus it being a detriment, or I ain't gonna say detriment, but versus it just being catered towards for you, for your gain. This is all what money buys. It buys you an illusion that it grants you power. People only care about money for the power they think it buys. That's why people work hard for it. Okay, you work hard for an illusion to get a house. You work hard for an illusion to get a car. But nobody's working hard to get land. Nobody's working hard to go past ruling the world. And so that's when it really becomes like the epitome of delusion, because you try to rule the world, which you can't contain, because you can't even manage yourself from the evil. So how can you manage a whole entire existence? You can't. It's delusional. Yet, as long as that person believes that they can rule the world, many have tried, they have the spirit of the Antichrist. So, I guess the Antichrist serves that purpose. All right, we're going back into the store. Once again, we're going to try it one more time. Let me make something clear. When I say money has very little value, well, it does. If it can purchase you, it has a greater value. But if it cannot purchase you, it has little value. In other words, you can see yourself far past it, particularly its limitations. So you become more. become greater than you were before. You become transformed. Scripture says you become a new creation. So, which is more powerful, words or money? Which is more powerful, words or money? Let's give a quick example about like how significant money is to a slave. Let's say, hypothetically, you saw someone in line at a store and you literally saw them like drop some money. How fast, if that ever happens, just watch how fast the thought that you can have that come across your mind versus the thought of how fast you can give that money back to its owner. It's interesting how it works. When you purchase, you are controlled. It's like a psychological chip that's implemented into the brain that you no longer have possession of your free will. You gave it away just by consuming the thought, which came from what? Words. Because words are life. They are spirit. But every spirit needs a host. So every time somebody speaks, it has to go somewhere. It can't just dwell in the atmosphere. Every spirit needs a shell, a covering. If you notice, everything has a name, right? Everything that has existence, or everything that we can actually physically see, has a name. So it can be addressed. And it can be handled according to such. So like if there is no disease, there's no physical disease known to man that does not have a name. The purpose of it so it could be called. And if that person who may have the person that has the disease, if they have authority over themselves, in other words, their spirit has authority over something of punishment. In other words, they're not in a line of punishment. If they committed a crime or they committed an act that is entitled to some form of punishment, if they haven't repented or confessed to their placement of that, they will be summoned to that. So as long as that spirit has a right to be there, it will be there. And the only way that it can be there is that the